Hello, welcome back to DDB 101. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to do individual session control and also signaling, for example, like killing a particular session to mimic some failure. Now, let's jump right in. Here, I have a server process to start. Let me first start DDB. Now, let me first start a server and continue the execution to make server running. Now, let me attach the first client. Okay, the first client is attached. Then let me attach the second client. Now, all the processes are attached. Right now we can see from the panel, there are 3 sessions in total. If we switch to a session view, we can see there are clearly 3 sessions available. 2 are client and 1 are server. Here, we can use these buttons to perform individual control on particular session. For example, let's say we want to individually resume the server. We can click on this continue button for this case. So this is different from this continue button on the control panel. The control panel button for the continue will continue all the process, all the sessions attached to DDB. However, we can use this button to continue individual session. Let me continue the server. So from the call stack, you can see the server is running. If we jump back to the server panel, you can see it is running. Of course, we can also individually pause this session. Now you can see all the servers are paused. We can use this mechanism to do a lot of interesting stuff. For example, you're trying to simulate a particular pattern for the function invocation. Let's say I want the first client, the client with session ID 2, to first send out the message to the server. Let me first continue the server. Now the server is running. I can continue the client, so the client can I can continue the client with session 2, so that this client can first send the message to the server. Let me click the continue button to continue this session. Before that, let me first switch to this terminal. And let me click continue. So you can see this client already finished running. So if you switch back to this client is still not running, still not proceeding with any results because it's actually paused. In this case, we can simulate the case where the first client actually reached to the server first, then the second client reached to the server next. Now, this is how you do individual control for the particular session. We can also do more interesting stuff with individual control. Let me first pause this session for the server. Now, if you review this call stack panel, you can see all the sessions are paused right now. Here, I can try to mimic the case where the server is crashed, then the client trying to send something to a server. In this case, I can kill the server by using this kill button. Let's say, yes, I want to kill the server. So you can see the server is gone. Now, let me try to continue this client. Before that, let me first switch to this client terminal. Let me continue. So you can say it says it cannot connect to the server because the server at this point is already crashed. Now, DDB can also send the arbitrary signal to the target session. Let me to demo how that works. Again, let me start DDB. Then start server. Continue the server. Start a different client. Here, let's say we want to send a SIGINT, or actually, let's say we want to send a SIGWORD to the session for the server. Let's first switch to the flattened view for all individual sessions. Here, we can find the server process right here. Let's say this time, we don't just want to kill the server. Actually, we want to send a different signal. You can use this button, which essentially sends signal. Click on this button, gonna give you a pop-up view where it lists all the possible signal you can send to this session. Let's say I want to do circuit board. You can see this process is killed and this session dies. If we switch it back to the server, you can see it says a instruction seg fault here, which essentially means you receive a circuit board.